Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe, guys. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geeked. So we encourage you to stay geek, man. Listen, we are back with a brand spanking new one, guys. Not my boy Will, not my cousin Will, boy Big J, boy BA, man. We're back with a brand spanking new one, y'all. Listen, got a cool for y'all today, man. As y'all already know, got some I got a DC Comics movie conversation going here today, y'all. We know Superman's right around the corner. It's kind of what we was talking about a little bit off camera. We know some people. I think I want to say it's is it Milan? One of the countries. I think one of the season, one of the countries has gotten to see the first 30 minutes of the movie. So you kind of been hearing some talks about some reactions to that. Y'all see that the marketing is revved up. We talked about that before. We talked about how much they poured into the marketing. We see James Gunn, going out here on these different press tours right now, kind of talking about the movie and kind of getting us ready for that. So we're about 2 weeks away, y'all. So with that being said, man, kind of got us thinking a little bit, man. We're gonna talk about some movies that almost happened for DC. All right. So y'all ready to get to it?
Yes, sir.
Right.
All right, man. Let's do this. Check this out, y'all. Man, where'd you go? There you go. All right. DC movies that were in development but never happened. All right, y'all. Let's get to this. Get this first movie here, man. So this is interesting right here. So the first one we got up, man, in the early 2000s, Dan Aronofsky, how you pronounce his name?
Aronofsky.
Thank you, Aronofsky. Was developing a live action Batman movie called Year One. So based off of the Year One comic storyline, which is pretty interesting. I do remember this though. So they came out with this idea. This was supposed to be the movie instead of Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick, man, cuz what you think about this, man? Was it something that you wanted to see, or you glad that they didn't make it and they made the Bale movie, man?
Like especially going before Bell, I think it would have been dope. Kind of like a teaser. It
No, no,
didn't
no, no,
have
no. Not,
no, no.
it's
I'm
not
just saying
before
like it
Bale.
didn't
This was
have
going
to
to be
be
the
part of
movie.
it. Yeah, it didn't have to be part of it. But I'm just saying like because with Bell, it just showed you some of his beginnings going into as he deep into Batman. This Year One, I think it would have been a nice little, like I said, it didn't have to tie into it, but still have a
No, no,
little
no.
quotation.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was not going to be a tie-in. It would have been no New
Oh,
York Club. They wouldn't have done the Bale. This was going to be
oh,
the
they wouldn't
Batman
have
movie.
did Bell at all.
Yeah,
Oh, then no, I would have
yeah,
been
not
upset.
at
My
all.
bad. Yeah, I would have been upset because
Yeah.
we wouldn't have got what's his name as
Christopher
Joker,
Nolan. Oh,
Heffley
Heath,
Ledger
Heath Ledger.
as Joker. Yeah, if we wouldn't have got that. Yeah, nah. I'm thankful then. If it would have been one or the other, yeah, give me Heath Ledger as Joker. So I'm okay with this not being happen. Yeah, I think if they would have had this would have went, and then it would have been Christian Bale still come out. But yeah, if it's one or the other, still give me Christian Bale's Batman because the villains were top notch within the Dark Knight, but Heath Ledger was the pinnacle when it comes to the villains within that trilogy. But if I had to choose, I'm glad they went with Christian Bale.
Yeah, because also too, they were going to change the whole mythos of Batman in this. He was going to be
Oh
poor.
yeah.
He was going to be like some kind of like mechanic. Alfred
Mm-hmm.
was somebody who kind of like pulled him off the streets and kind of taught him how to fight and all that stuff. And he worked at some kind of mechanic shop and all that stuff. He wasn't going to be rich and have all these fancy gadgets. He's going to be something that he
Yeah.
made on his own out of the
Yeah.
shop or whatever. So yeah, he was going to change the whole entire like outlook of Batman off of his movie.
Okay.
So I'm kind of glad I'm with you. But pieces of Year One was also in Batman Begins. So
Yeah.
what you think about this, BA?
So the director, right, Darren Aronofsky, is that what you
Aronofsky,
said? Yeah.
Mhm.
So we had to see what was he doing around this time, right? So there's a reason why his name is being name dropped in the 2000s. This is the same director that did The Wrestler, great movie. That did The Whale with Brandon Fraser. That was that was a good movie. He also did Black Swan. So this is the type of films that he was doing. This is
Right.
post 2000. So around this time, he had just did a movie called Requiem for a Dream of a Dream. I don't know if y'all saw this, but
Yeah.
when I tell you it, I seen it, and it gets you in depth of addiction of multiple different kinds, uh, whether it's fame, fortune, or the dream that the pursuit to get that, or just regular just drugs and things like that, prostitution. Like this movie, it was like the movie that set him off to being pretty much a person in Hollywood. So to tap into that mindset, to what you were saying, you would have saw like a whole different side of Bruce Wayne that
Yeah.
I think it would have worked. Would it work for everybody? No, I think they would have went too dark. And I think that's probably why they said we need to put the brakes on this thing.
Yeah.
Yes, if he was going to do the mechanic side of it and get real gutter with it, then I don't necessarily see. I don't need to see Bruce that much down on his luck. I still want to see him to being the playboy guy, because that's the lore of Batman. He balances that aspect. One would consider that's his costume versus his true self of being Batman in a sense. So I think it went way too dark. So that they definitely did the right decision of not going with that and going with Christopher Nolan.
You know, it's crazy. You said that. You know what this kind of remind me of? I don't know if any of y'all have been read any parts of Absolute Batman. That's what they kind of
Crazy.
remind me of a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it kind of remind me of. What you think, BJ?
I think it would be an interesting take, but like I said, I would probably take Christopher Nolan's vision over Darren Aronofsky's. Like I said, I'm sure he would have had a grittier take, and I think we're getting some of that with the Batman. Because the Batman was more low tech, more of the detective side than all of the gadgets that we saw in like Batman '89 and then even the Christopher Nolan. Because I mean, even though he was starting off, he still had all the resources of the Wayne Enterprises, and basically just went and raided the Wayne Enterprise tech kitty, toy store. And so we didn't see that. Like I said, his stuff looks more grounded in like the Batman, because I think that's kind of based on year two from my understanding. So it's kind of more, him just getting started, but without all of the high tech toys.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. So, like you said, Darren was a hot commodity around that time. Like you said, he directed some interesting pieces, but like you said, I think that would have alienated a lot of the fans if he had went that route. That sounds like some Elseworld type stuff with that kind of idea. Like I said, with the Batman, Absolute Batman, that sounds like some Elseworld type stuff. Like you can kind of, it's an idea you kind of float it around. Let's just try this, but it doesn't not touch the true continuity of the actual Batman mythos or whatever. So it would have been interesting to kind of see how that went. But I know we already know how it goes with the fans, bro. That would have alienated a lot of people. The internet would have been rioting. You know what I'm saying? It would have been fires and pitchforks in the streets. You already know how that goes. So I think WB kind of saw that, was like, you know what? Never mind, we're gonna go in a different direction. Matter of fact, I think he wrote the script to that too. That movie that they were talking about coming out with or whatever for the idea of year one. Which I don't know why he didn't just take the idea straight from the year one comic and just make the movie. But yeah. All right, let's see what we got next, y'all. So Josh Whedon's Wonder Woman movie starring Angelina Jolie. I didn't know nothing about this. This is new to me. This concept, man. What do you think about this one, BJ?
That does not seem as intriguing to me. One, I think Angelina Jolie, I know back then she was kind of super popular with Wanted and everything, but I think I would have more problems with the Josh Whedon side of it, because Josh Whedon is known for, when he did like the original X-Men stuff and even the Avengers, he was just more a little bit on the campy side and leaned into the jokes, and everything don't have to always be funny, but like I said, that was kind of what he was known for. So I probably wouldn't have been a huge fan of it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I wonder what time period this would have been like. When was this discussed? Like where and what
About
time?
06.
About 06?
Yeah.
Okay. What you think though, BA?
So when you bring it down to 06, that's why he mentioned Wanted. To have Angelina Jolie as this particular role, this is coming off a few years off of Tomb Raider. This is Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and a little bit before Wanted. So like that is she was striking, she was striking hot around this time. You feel me? To perform at this kind of a caliber in a sense, right? And we saw from Gal Gadot, you don't need too much, right? So I think she has the prerequisites of at that time of being this particular person, especially physically. I'm gonna leave it right there. So you have to go to the other side. So can Josh Wheaton kind of pull that off? Well, he had his shots. We seen like
Buffy.
Greek gods in Avengers. Loki. We saw how he portrayed Loki. I think it would have been similar, right? Like you said, off of X-Men 1, X-Men. So we seen his work in a sense, right? It's just, is it Wonder Woman? Is it what we want her to be? Would it be like that? And I don't know. I'm gonna say no, but I would have watched it.
Yeah, I definitely would have watched it.
If y'all watched Gia from Angelina Jolie, you would have watched this.
Totally different movies.
What you got, cuz?
I mean, will we be able to like move pieces around? Get Patty to be the director with Angelina? I think that would have been great. Outside of that, I mean, yeah, if they would have made it, would have watched it. This would have been a standalone movie too, wouldn't it?
Maybe not. I don't know. See, real quick. So all these movies are being flushed out, and if you realize all these are like early 2000s, they could have had their own cinematic joint. They just didn't have any leadership. Batman Begins came out in 05. This is
you said
06.
Yeah, if you said 06, BA, remember also, I don't know if it's on the list, probably not. Spoiler alert. So they was supposed to come out with, remember, Justice League Mortal was supposed to come out in 06.
I know that.
Yeah, they were going to have two separate DC properties going on at the same time. They're going to have matter of fact, what's the man's name? That George Miller, the guy who directed Mad Max. He was supposed to direct Justice League Mortal, and they were going to come out with Justice League Mortal while also having Christopher Nolan's Batman universe going at the same time. So if you're saying that, then I mean, maybe they would have had two Wonder Womans too. You know what I mean? So because they had already cast that, they already cast the Justice League cast and everything. Like I said, George Miller was supposed to direct it and all that, but then they ended up having those strikes around 06. So it kind of, so it killed the movie or whatever. So, but yeah, nah, man. Like you said, she was a hot name around that time. Known for action. She could carry a franchise, all that type of stuff. So, Josh Whedon was known for, he's known for directing strong women. He's the one who was the producer of Buffy, right? And Buffy went on for 150 years. So, I guess he was a hot name for that type of genre. And then, of course, like I said, she was an action star in her own right in the early 2000s. So it was kind of like a marriage made for heaven right there. So, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have been mad at it, bro. Would have been interesting to see how that would have turned out. All right, let's see what we got next. Oh man, I remember this one. So in the early 2010s, Guillermo del Toro was supposed to direct Justice League Dark. Man, they were talking about this for about 5-6 years. They're supposed to be doing this. But let me start with you this time, BA, man. What you think about this, man? Think about this idea of a Justice League Dark with Guillermo del Toro as a director, man.
I think they should have pulled the trigger on this one. I really do.
Oh my God, facts.
He made Hellboy work, so we got to give him that. So if you can make Hellboy work in that genre, in what you're trying to sell for that, then Justice League Dark is pretty much tailor made towards that. So for me, I think that'd have been a no brainer. He also did the Hobbit, right? Just fictional characters in that element, right? That's what I'm trying to portray here. Pacific Rim, that first one was fire, right?
I love that movie.
He could tap into that. So I think this is probably one of the ones that they should have just go ahead on, just damn the animated movie, which was pretty freaking awesome in its own right. They should have definitely, to me, pulled the trigger and actually made a real life film for that.
Facts, man. What you think about Cuz? What you think?
I agree. As soon as she threw Del Toro's name on it, yeah, right. When you threw his name on it, that's like a 75% chance of go ahead pull the trigger. Once you start throwing in just a Justice League Dark or anything special like that, yeah, it's got to be an absolute trigger pull at that point. I think they definitely end up missing out on a great chance. God, that would have been a great watch
Man, that would have been
because
fun.
I think this would have allowed him to be to go deep in his bag. Just thinking of the characters that he would have been able to pull out of it. Yeah, I think they definitely missed the mark of not letting this one get going. It says early 2000s.
No, 2010s.
2010. So it's definitely after Nolan, and Nolan didn't want nobody to touch Batman.
Yeah, so yeah, this would have been early 2010s, 2010s, yeah, it would have been a perfect time frame for it. Got him rolling. They would have, they would have been able to hold their own when it came to the comic book movies at that time frame as well with this one. Yeah, they missed it on this one, not pulling the trigger.
What you think, BJ?
No, I think it would have been interesting. I mean, like I said, we've all seen what Guillermo del Toro does. I mean, I still like Blade 2. You know, that was one of my favorite ones. That was a whole series. Because he got into, with the Reaper, the Reapers. And because he's real good with that not quite body horror, but you know what I'm saying? Like he does some level of that with his stuff. And I think that would have played in well, especially with like John Constantine and like I said, the toy box he would have had to play with would have been cool to see. I'd be interested to see who actually would be cast for those positions, for the roles though. That would be interesting to look at. I was trying to see if they had any like projections on all that, but I didn't see anything because they didn't get that far with it.
Yeah, they didn't get that far. They just attached him to it because remember this was around the time when the DCEU was starting to take off because they'd already did Superman and all that stuff. I remember it was a Superman thing. I think it was after. It might have been before Justice League or maybe after Justice League, but it was around that time that it came up with this concept. And I remember, like Cuz said, when they attached Guillermo del Toro's name to it, I remember I was like, "Yo, that's it." Can you imagine him with like Swamp Thing and the Demon and you know what I'm saying, Dead Man? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, they could have put anybody in that group, man. Like I said, at least put them three in there. You give him those three, and that'd be like that's in his wheelhouse right there. Like you said, man, Pan's Labyrinth. All that type of stuff, bro. That was
would have been awesome in that,
bro. Yeah, Zatanna, like, bro, come on, man. That I don't know why they didn't pull the trigger on that one, but that was also too around the time, like you said, BA. They didn't have anybody who was like over the DCEU. It was a ton of hands in the kitchen, and so like that's around the time they were real reactionary. It's like, yo, this movie didn't make it, so we gotta pivot to this now. Okay, that did fine. Okay, now let's continue. Oh wait, that didn't fail. That failed. Okay, pivot this way. So they didn't really have a plan of how things were going work themselves out there. And so with Guillermo, I think with him, I think he was one of those directors too. He always wants a big budget on his stuff, which is why they never came out with Hellboy 3, because each of the Hellboys, the budget kept going up. Same thing with Pacific Rim. They didn't put him on Pacific Rim 2 because he wanted the budget to be more than what Pacific Rim 1 was. And so that's like for him, I think, like I said, they should have made that movie. That would have been a perfect movie right in his wheelhouse, man. Now I don't know how the budget would have been, but like I said, if you're talking about putting Dead Man, the Demon, Etrigan, and Swamp Thing in there, unless he's gonna do practical like he kind of mostly does, like with like Pan's Labyrinth and all that stuff, and Hellboy and all that, it might cost a pretty penny, but I would have loved to have seen that movie, man. Check this one out. I remember this one too, y'all. Check this one out. So Superman Returns sequel planned for summer of 2009 with Brainiac. All right, so Big J, what you think about this one, man?
Like I said, I think that one's interesting. I hadn't heard much about this one. Like I said, I think I knew that they initially talked to Brandon Roth about coming back, but that all kind of fell apart. But I'll tell you, my interest was more in the Nicolas Cage Superman one that didn't come to fruition, because that one seemed like it was going to be kind of wild with him and Tim Burton directing. I just thought that would have been something that could have been special. But like I said, I heard hints of this one, but like I said, just because the Brandon Roth version of Superman never really caught on. Although I didn't mind it, I thought Kevin Spacey was funny as Lex Luthor. I thought the son aspect was interesting with his son having the powers and all that. But I still think that the Nicolas Cage. I always loved Nicolas Cage. He's just such a interesting actor. One of my favorite
Very
actors.
interesting.
He's crazy. He said not the
Yeah.
bees. Yeah.
But no, so I don't know if you knew that this actually was supposed to be the continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman. This
Which-
iteration of Superman, Brendan Routh
Yeah,
Superman,
it's
is supposed to be a
supposed to be
continuation.
Superman
Yeah.
3
Yeah,
in a sense, right?
yeah, pretty much. But what you think, cuz?
I remember the talks of about this one. I mean, I think it would have been fun, just especially around that time frame. I think DC missed out. Didn't even have to be like that massive of a budget or anything crazy, but to have a good story behind it, and I think it would have been a fun watch. Just I would have been in the theaters to watch it, but yeah, I think it would have been a fun watch, especially with Brainiac. You could do so much when it comes to Brainiac, as far as like him being in the background, setting things up, or you can put him in the forefront, just being able to move chess pieces around. Like I definitely think that they missed out on this one. I think it would have been a fun watch.
What you think, BA?
This would have been absolutely god awful. I didn't like Superman Returns. I thought y'all could have kept that one. Brandon is better off of being the Adam on Arrowverse.
CW.
He was great at that. He was not great at Superman, in my opinion. That whole movie was just that it just didn't hit for me. Especially when he lifted up the little mini city on his head that's supposed to be full of kryptonite. Oh no, y'all can have this. Bryan Singer and Kevin Spacey, they was already predetermined to fail in real life. So this was it would have been just another continuation of that in their work in a sense. So y'all can take that, y'all can take Brainiac and all those things, put it in the ball and just toss it in the ocean. I'm glad they didn't do this one. Me personally.
Right.
Well, hold on. But so since you disrespecting Brandon Routh, we're gonna bring up the greatest thing he ever had. His greatest role is Todd Ingram from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yep.
So
Yep.
come on now. The vegan
that
powers.
Was decent.
Yeah, the vegan. Yeah, the vegan powers.
Superman was not. I gave him love for being the Adam. He did great. He did great in that.
Man, listen, bro. Matter of fact, I watched Superman Returns again the other day.
No.
I didn't think it was that bad. Was it great? No. Was it it could have been more. Like I said, you just lifted stuff the whole movie. It was not what I signed up for. I thought maybe him fighting somebody would have been a little bit better. But I wanted this movie to happen for a couple of reasons. Because one, we still have not seen Brainiac in live action yet at all. We're not counting Smallville. We're not counting Smallville, Big J. I know you're gonna say Smallville. No, we don't want to hear that. That was not Brainiac. I don't know what that.
Arrowverse 2? He wasn't in Arrowverse?
He Brainiac 5.
TV,
right. Wasn't that Brainiac 5?
I think he had a version of Brainiac in that.
Yeah. Not the Brainiac though.
Not on the big screen though. Definitely not on the big screen.
Yeah,
not
I want to see him on the big screen.
But also too, second, I wanted them to make this movie because, bro, you got to make up for that first movie. That's what I was like, yo, maybe they'll get it right. Like you said, I didn't want Bryan Singer because Bryan Singer literally, you did. Well, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not the biggest fan of the X-Men movies. They're okay. I don't think they're as great as everybody make them out to be. And when the ones he directed, and so when he directed this movie, and then like I seen the movie, I was like, they should have got somebody else to direct. Kevin Spacey, we already know what happened with him too. So both of them have their little problems or whatever. But at this time, I was hoping they would get somebody else to direct the movie, and we would finally. You got to make up for that first movie you just had. That wasn't all that great. Take the good parts out. Make this movie, and then get a chance to see Brainiac. That's kind of what I want to see. But the movie was somewhat divisive as far as the people who went to go see. It made money, but then at the same time, the people who saw it were kind of like, it was okay. It was a movie, But I would have wanted to see Brainiac on the screen, man. That's really kind of why I want to see that movie. And another thing too, I feel like Brandon Routh didn't really get. I don't think it was him per se. I think it was the material they gave him that was bad. Because he was Well, he barely had any speaking lines the whole movie. It's like, why would you make a Superman movie? He's supposed to be the Christopher Reeve Superman, and you don't give him barely any speaking lines. It's like, what are we doing? If you thought that he wasn't be good enough to do his speaking line, you should have got somebody else. Because also at that time, Henry Cavill was supposed to be Superman. Remember, he was the runner-up for that role. So,
well, he played the right version. If you rewatch it, then you seen the fact that he was gone for like 5 years, right? Came back. Yeah. Clark Kent was gone for also 5 years, and he came back, and you got a whole working staff like, hey, you came back the same day Superman came back.
I said that. I did say that, bro. I did say that.
But okay, but hold on. So he did not have the swoop down on the curl, and he didn't have the glasses. If you don't have that, then I mean that's totally different person, man.
These are journalists.
If your hair is up compared to one curl dropping down.
Like, yo, you was going the same time. Did y'all hang together?
Hold on, at least all of a sudden show up while we looking on the TV screen. Yeah.
At least in the Daily Bugle, he was like, hey, yo, you that dude with that B with Spider-Man, right? Go and holler at him for me. At least they got that connection versus what I saw in that movie. But, I'm waiting for the next Superman. Let's say that.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I said that. I promise you, I said that to myself while watching this movie. It's like, he's gone for 5 years, and you telling me nobody put 2 and 2 together. It's like, okay, that's believable. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, y'all. Let's see what this next one is here. So WB canceled the live-action Teen Titan movie planned for 2009. Jeez, I don't remember that one. But I guess they canceled it and then ended up turning into that show that was on what was that? The DC Universe app.
Oh,
the Titan show.
That got moved over to HBO.
HBO Max.
Yeah. But what you think about this one, cuz?
If it the shows, I enjoyed the show, so it's kind of upsetting that they didn't make a movie out of it. Give it a nice bow. Seeing it on the big screen would have been dope, but I guess if you think about it, we did end up getting that for a little bit longer, since it went for a few seasons. I think Teen Titans would be dope on the big screen. That's just my overall, like, what I think of it. It's kind of like what I was saying when it comes to Brainiac. Like, I just want to see him, see him on the big screen, and this would have been dope as well. I think if they would have did it back then, it would at least give them an idea or some sort of groundwork, especially with the new DCU of what they can work with, what they can work around. As well, and back then CGI was really good too. So Beast Boy and everything would have definitely been fun to watch, and see how Cyborg would have looked too with good CGI as well. So yeah, it's kind of upsetting that it wasn't on the big screen, just because, like I said, I do want to see him. But this show, I really enjoyed the show, so it was kind of a balanced thing. But yeah, I want to see him on the big screen.
Because they messed up on some movies recently, that doesn't mean the CGI was better back then.
No. I didn't say theirs. I just said CGI period was better back then. You don't think so? Transformers was around that time too.
Well, like I think, like Red was saying though, because they started rushing stuff. Like, I mean, just because we all saw the Flash movie.
Yeah,
and that abomination of the babies left me traumatized, and
that was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, but he was going to the Speed Force. I'm like, what is this? I mean, nobody. It looked like I had hand drew all those animations. So,
James, I ain't gonna lie, I thought you did. I really did. I thought you did.
I mean, I just took the check, but
Now, what you think, man?
I don't know. Like I said, back then, I don't know. Once again, my
what was that around that time?
In 2009.
Was that when did Bells?
Yeah, they've been right around the same time as Dark Knight.
That's the second one, right? Not okay. So Dark Knight. Okay, that's the second one. So when did Dark Knight Rises come out? Like 12, 11?
11, something like that. Yeah, because Dark Knight was 2008. Dark Knight was 2008. Iron Man was 2008. You know,
Oh,
so
you're right.
Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises was 2012. Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that was 2008 was a huge year for superhero movies.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, my
like I said,
bad, BJ.
I think they would. The problem is once again, but without a cohesive story to tell,
Yeah.
I think it would have been just all over the place, and that's the problem. Like Warner Brothers has always been all over the place, and like I said, them and Sony are the two most meddlesome studios when it comes to putting their hands on it. The studio heads putting their hands on the creatives and screwing it up. I think they would have found a way to make it terrible back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you probably would have had guys in suits telling them what to put in the movie.
That's what that's how they always do. It's like, oh, we need to put more people. Let's make let's make these all look like toys and action figures so we can make more money on this. That's how they think.
Mm. What you think, BA?
I say they would have had my money. I definitely would have saw it.
Yeah, I would have went to.
I'm a big Titans fan. Teen Titans, Teen Titans, the animated series, Teen Titans Go. My kids love that show. It was a little too zany for me, but I know I watched damn near every season of it, and they did actually a good job on some of those episodes. But to see a movie of it, so I'm like you guys say, I'm gonna have to take what they did, the HBO Max version, and just kind of see if that on a big screen, and hopefully it would have been in sync like that. I would have been all for it. I just don't like Big J said. I don't think the direction would have been there. I think it would have been all over the place. I think they would have had their own thing, and it was like, well, then you're thinking like, so this is the own thing, right? Because 3 years before that we had Superman and Superman Returns, but then 2 years then we got then 2005, 2008 got the Dark Knight. So is this the Nightwing from that Batman? Is that the same? Is he going to appear in the third one? You would have been just trying to put together pieces, and I don't think that they probably felt like answering all those questions. But I think it would have made money though. I think at the end of the day, if you would have just had the core, let's say the core 4, core 5, I think they would have been just fine. So I think they should have. I think they should have did it just to say that with it and see what they can get from it. It would have sold, in my opinion. It would have. Depending on how big the budget is, and depending on how much you want to make Beast Boy realistic, because you know on that show, he only changed into like 1 or 2 different things. That was it. One. Right? It didn't change too much. They kept that budget low.
Yeah, they did.
So it would have been fun to see, but I doubt it. I would have saw it. I would have been a fan of it, but they probably did the right thing overall.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did the right thing. Yeah, I'm with y'all. I think the only thing I can picture is the Titan show.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Titan show is a mixture of some HBO quality and some CW quality. Kind of in the middle of that, you know what I mean? But
oh yeah, they got a little X-rated sometimes.
Yeah. So like you said, Beast Boy probably would have him morphing into the different animals would have looked a little better. You know what I'm saying? Because they kind of had him morphing off camera, and then like you said, when he did morph into an animal, it was a tiger, like you see on the picture right here. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And so, like you said, that probably would have confused a lot of people. It's like, so is this the Robin? If they end up doing another Batman movie, is that Robin going to be in this Batman movie? Is that the same Robin from the same universe? All that type of stuff. That's around time they hadn't had a shared universe yet. Like you said, Marvel just started their shared universe with Iron Man and Hulk around that time. So that would have been interesting. I think we're definitely gonna get one now though with James Gunn. I think we're gonna get a. Well, go BJ.
No, but see, wasn't that the reason though? Because didn't Christopher Nolan basically tell WB don't put anything out Batman related while I'm making my movies until I finish my third one? So I think I think they thought about it, but I think he shut all that down because every time they thought about trying to do something, he was like, nope.
As a matter of fact, that might have had a lot to do with the fact they didn't come out with the Justice League Mortal too. That might be one of the reasons why they didn't come with it. Because remember, they had Armie Hammer was supposed to play Batman in Justice League Mortal.
Oh, so they had is what you're saying.
So they had the suits and everything, bro. Like I said, Jordan Miller, they was ready to go. I remember that. Matter of fact, I think it might be a documentary or something on that, man. Y'all can probably find. But yeah, they They were ready to go in that movie, man. Those strikes happened, and then they killed it. Maybe that's for the better but yeah, I think Vandal Savage was supposed to be the bad guy in that. I want to say it was based off of the Tower of Babylon storyline, where like I think Batman had those contingency plans for everybody, and he leaked it, and I think Vandal Savage had found it.
Oh man,
and ended up like
that was a great movie.
Yeah. They had a movie about it, so yeah, an animated movie, but yeah, it probably would have been based off of that if I'm not mistaken, but yeah. All right, y'all. Oh man, check this one out, y'all. I had no idea about this one. So in the late 2000s, WB canceled a Plastic Man movie with Keanu Reeves. I don't know if any of y'all heard about this. What you think about this one, BA?
Late 2000s. What I'm assuming we talking
probably around that same time as all them other ones, like the 2008, 9-ish, probably.
After the Matrix, right? So, you know, he was stretchy a little bit in the Matrix on some of them scenes. I ain't gonna lie to you. You talking about CGI. CGI was not the best when it came to some of those sequels when it came to the Matrix.
We want to talk about that.
Understood. I'm you know, Keanu
the second
Reeves,
was all right, but third one
was that he's stretching on the second one. To me, I just want to. I would not. I'm not a Plastic Man fan. Some people are. Some people are diehards. It might be some people on this panel that might like Plastic Man. I do not. I do not like him I don't like him in the comics. I don't like him in animated movies. And to see him pretty much be on screen with it, nah. Especially when I guess at that time it's been a couple Fantastic Fours, and you know, Mr. Fantastic wasn't bad in those movies. Not the Michael B. Jordan franchise, the other one. No, I would not have paid to see that. I would have waited till it got on regular TV or something.
Oh man, what about you, cuz?
I like Keanu Reeves, Plastic Man. I don't. I mean, I'll be good without it. But I do like Keanu Reeves whenever he drops something. So not having this is not really a miss to me. Especially what I don't think we really needed this even to begin with. So yeah, I think we're good on this side of not having it. Much better.
What about you, Big J?
Much better than that. Especially with like y'all been saying around this time frame, WB had no real leadership when it came to these movies. So I feel like it would have been a bad look on Keanu at that time. So yeah.
I think that was like when they were like entering into the Keanu-sance.
Yeah,
he was kind of catching the role there. Matrix. What else came around that time? I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, he's kind of started to kind of pick up that Keanu-sance or whatever. So that probably would have cut that short if they came out with this, in my opinion. But go ahead, BJ.
I was going to address the elephant in the room that nobody was willing to say the words out loud, but I think we all can agree that outside of John Wick and the Matrix, that Keanu Reeves really can't act, and I think that would be the thing that would have hurt the movie the most. Is Keanu's kind of a one note kind of guy,
but he's fun to watch.
As long as he don't talk, he's good with the action and he's good with, but not the whole emoting and all that. When he could play that stoic, I don't have to have no expression, and I'm just a hardcore killer. He's fine, but if you got to sit there and look emotional or go through something or even be funny, that's not what he's made for. You know what I mean?
Speed was good.
I admit
he was the same guy. He just
he was stoic as hell, Paul, in his feet.
Yeah.
I 1,000,000% agree with Big J because if you seen Ballerina,
oh yeah,
there was some times in the movie I'm like, okay, he's John Wick. Okay, listen, him with Plastic Man, I definitely cannot see that, bro. I don't know who. I'm glad they canceled this. I don't know who came up with that idea. I see somebody more like Bill Hader or somebody being Plastic Man.
Yeah.
Than than Keanu Reeves. I don't know who came up with that idea. Like I said, I think this was entering into the Keanu Sans, where he was like a hot name in Hollywood at that time. So it's like, well, let's go ahead and put him on this movie over here or whatever. That's probably what they were trying to do. But as far as him being Plastic Man, and to go with what you said, BA, I don't got no problem with Plastic Man. We're going to see Plastic Man eventually here in the DCU. I'm willing to put the hot toys of Big J on them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see Plastic Man. It's more of a obscure character that James Gunn likes to show to give to the people, where they're kind of like Rocket and Groot. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're gonna get a Plastic Man here probably in the future. But as far as this, I'm glad he did not come out with this movie. Like you said, I agree with you, Big J. I like Keanu Reeves for what he played in with the Matrix. You're supposed to be that way in the Matrix, right? Because he's supposed to be kind of robotic a little bit. But as far as you trying to carry a movie and have some kind of humor to it, nah, I can't see it, man. But yeah, here we go. Oh man, I didn't know about this one either. I think I did. I'm not sure. 2003, Aquaman movie was developed by Leonardo DiCaprio, who plans to star. So, cuz, what you think about Leonardo DiCaprio being the king of the seven seas, man?
It would have been funny to see this drop, because he went from dying in the water to being the king of the water. So that would have been a wild change. Nah, I don't need to see him as a superhero. I like when did The Departed come out?
Was that 01? 02?
I thought it was probably 02-ish.
06.
06. Okay. See, like I don't want anything that would have affected a movie like that. you know. I don't
So
know if he
what
would
did
have
he
been
do
able to
around that
pull off
time
what
then?
that
Because Titanic came out in 97.
97, yeah.
He just got finished doing Games in New York in 2002.
Okay. See, and that was a great
Okay.
movie. So I don't. He had a run. He had a serious run around that time frame. I don't need a random superhero movie to affect that. So I'm good with this one.
Okay. What you got, BA?
Can anyone see Leonardo being a damn superhero? I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He can fight a bear, but I don't want you to put on a costume to fight a bear.
Did he fight it, or did the? I don't think he put hands on the bear.
The bear had his way with Leonardo.
Look, he wanted a war for it. So the fact of the matter
One for the bear.
He could do a lot of things. I mean, I love the movie that he did with Tom Hanks, Catch Me If You Can, and things like that.
Oh, yeah,
he can act his ass off. He really can. But none of his movies, and the dude got like 40 movies. Most of them he doesn't, but none of them is a damn superhero or anything close to it. So no, I can't. I can't see it.
Great.
You can't tell me on it. I'm sorry. Quick and the Dead was great. He died in that. I can't see it. I tried. When I seen this, I said I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna look twice, and I said I just can't. I can't see it.
Me either. What about you, Big J?
See, I could have seen what Will was saying, so I could see the tie-in with Titanic. With that's what happened to Jack. He went into the water and then came out Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it worked. That's what happened. That's
how
spin-off. Okay.
It's like a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Aquaman.
Oh, the origin story. My bad.
Yeah, that's it. He come out of water and boom. But no, like I said, I see him as, and you said he ain't play a superhero. I don't know. You obviously didn't see The Wolf of Wall Street, because that man, he was everybody's hero. You know what I mean? And
he was a hero. I was a superhero.
Nah, I can't see him in the costume and none of that. No, he should have stayed away from this. And I'm glad that cooler heads prevailed, that he did not get to play Aquaman in any way, shape, or form.
Man, I couldn't even see him, like, if he's producing this or whatever. I couldn't even see him putting on the suit, bro. Like, I just couldn't see it, man. Nah, I'm with y'all. I'm glad. Was this around time too when Entourage came out?
It might have been.
Remember, what's his name was what's the guy name? The main guy. He was supposed to be Aquaman in the show.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. But I'm with y'all.
That was 2004. I think. I think you're on to something, buddy.
Yeah, it might have been around that time. Because remember that in the show, James Cameron directed that movie. Remember that? It was
Yeah.
James Cameron, and he was the one who starred in it, the lead actor in that show. All right, y'all. Last but not least, check this one out. I know y'all remember this one. 2014 WB Static Shock movie starring Jaden Smith. What you got on this, Big J, man?
So I think it was what was that movie that he did with his father, After Earth?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So that was
it would have been
2013.
the year after that.
On
Yeah.
this, I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
So that was the movie where we realized that Jaden Smith could act, and I think that's what probably killed this project when they saw that and the robotic, weird British accent he had going on.
Wait,
And
when did that movie come out? After Earth.
2013.
Oh, damn. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. You're right.
Yep. They saw that and they're like, yeah, go on, pull it. Just let's go on, shut this career down right here. You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. What you got, BA?
I think they should have did it, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think they should have pulled the trigger and did it. Listen, the reason why
He done made what they say.
Come on, bring it here.
Look, the reason why is because listen, I don't blame Jaden Smith for After. I blame Will Smith for After Earth. He sold that like it was Independence Day and Men in Black, and he's going to be that dude, and he was handicapped for the whole damn movie.
Whole movie, bro.
It was a trick bag for everybody that was supporting everything Will was doing at that time, right? So that's my issue with After Earth. Not Jaden. 2, I still like the Karate Kid. That little boy was acting his little tail off, right? He was doing his thing next to with Jackie Chan and the boys. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that youthful part of him playing that before we lost him. Because damn it, we lost him, and hopefully he comes back. But the fact of the matter is, I think he would have did well in this. That would have been his own little project. He would have probably had some say in it. Damn it, no, that would have been too far. He should have had no say in it. Damn, I'm trying, Jay.
Will would have had something to say. You know that.
Oh yeah,
Will would get whole left. Definitely, it would have been brought up in West Philadelphia. But no, it's just I would have enjoyed it personally, and I think he could have had maybe 1, maybe 2 movies out of it, and that would have been just his little thing. Anything that I could have get Static Shock on a big screen, because Static Shock is probably one of those ones, especially in our community, especially for a show like this, that he keeps getting forgotten about. You hear people talk about him, and then they just keep forgetting. Boy, they treat Static Shock like a damn Blade movie. Yeah. We're gonna come on Static Shock. Yeah, we're going no, and they keep pushing it down the line. So I would have loved for them to do it just to say we got Static. At least we got Static. So
you had to bring up Blade, didn't you? You just had to bring it up.
You got to, man. That's the Marvel trip, man. We keep falling for it, man.
Spoiler alert. That's gonna be talked about on Saturday. But listen, listen, man. Maybe I was a little tainted by what happened in After Earth. I'm like, nah, keep Jaden away from it. But I will say this, man. We do need a Static Shock movie. I hope that they touch on the Dakotaverse in some type of shape, form, or fashion, whether it be a TV show or a movie or something, bro. Like I said, I've been talking about Icon. You know, get a hardware movie, Rocket. You know what I'm saying? Static for sure, because I know Static is more recognizable. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, because of the cartoon. I feel like we got to have one of these people on the big screen in some type of, like, you don't even have to necessarily merge them into the DC. Just had them have their own universe or whatever, the Dakotaverse or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I would like to see for sure. But we can say BA.
Nah, I'm reacting to Steel, and not
No, not Steel. Hardware. He's part of the that's true.
Understood.
You see, this is Steel right here. We're gonna put him over here.
Understood.
That's a DC character, sir. I was just
you know what I'm saying. Hey, unless they're gonna have the guy from Superman and Lois who played John Henry, who redeemed that character.
He was dope.
Yeah, but now we do need to see a Dakotaverse type of universe or something, man. Or they can do kind of like they can start their own little Elseworlds type of universe or whatever. Or if they eventually want to, like I said, merge them over into the DCU proper or whatever. But we definitely got to see that, man, because I think I told Cuz before. I remember when they said when they Milestone them had some kind of like legal issues or something going on, and once they got that out the way, I remember as soon as that happened, I remember James Gunn them saying that they were going to start producing a lot of different Milestone comic Dakotaverse characters and stuff like that, like comic books and stuff like that, shows and stuff like that, and movies. So we just never heard anything about it since he signed on with DC since that time. So I'm just kind of wondering, are we going?
I'm about to say, I remember seeing Static in an animated movie. He was with Blue Beetle or whatever the case may be. So, like, they started to trickle him in, and then just.
But that's because with the lawsuit, they took all of them out. Because the last season of Young Justice, because Static, Icon, and Rocket were not in that show. They were in the season before. That was around the time I think that lawsuit started kicking in. They had something with the lawsuit. Because I remember when the two creators of the Milestone comics both came out and both said that, like, yeah, now that that's out the way, we can start getting the production started on like the comics and stuff like that. Like they can come back in the shows, the movies, and all that stuff. But since that time, matter of fact, it was the last. What was that Comic-Con version because of DC that we was watching? We talked about on the show a few years back. DC Fandom. Fandom. That's what it was. They were on DC Fandom and they talked about that. So when they were talking about that, I remember folks were like, "Yo, man, are you gonna have the merch out? Like an Icon shirt, Static Shock shirt, all that type of stuff, man. Like we gonna get games." And they were like, "Yeah, man, we working on all that." And since that point, we didn't hear anything else about anything related to the Dakotaverse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, when are we gonna get that? Static Shock. We've been hearing about a Static Shock movie for a million years. It wasn't just him. It was the boy that was in the youngest son in Blackish. I remember he was attached to a Static Shock. They were talking about making that a live action show at one point. And what's up, BJ?
So I was gonna say, I remember when you were talking about. So I did meet a dude, David Kirkman. He did a fanfic, like a short film, that he got permission to do it. And I was at one of the screenings. He had a screening here in Dallas for his movie Static, which was based on the Static Shock character. And it was a cool movie, but what he's trying to do is use that as a proof of concept to get traction for it. And so he was going around the country and to the festival showing it, and nobody bid on it. But he was trying to get it picked up so that DC, so that Warner Brothers would actually back the full film, but it just died on the vine. But that was like 2018. I remember because I was working for a movie theater company at the time.
And y'all got to remember too, this Static Shock movie, this is Jaden's idea. This wasn't something that WB came up with, and they went to Jaden for that idea. This was Jaden's idea to WB. And so, like you said, the guy you just talking about, Big J, and the Jaden, they both kind of throwing that idea out, giving you the concept. They're just not biting on it. And of course, that's also around the time when, there weren't a lot of black superheroes. You just had Blade. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to talk about Steel. Okay, they don't count. But, you had Blade around that time. You know what I'm saying? So the concept of a black superhero movie was not really out there like that. And so now, like I said, times are different. Man. Like when Meteor Man, and Blake Man, we'll count those guys too. But no, so I mean, hey, I would love to see a Static Shock movie. Show something. You know what I'm saying? We need to see a live action. I would love to see the Dakotaverse. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Let's get Black Lightning in here too, man. My bad, Black Lightning. But yeah, y'all got anything else, man? I want to add, man, before we roll? Yeah, it wasn't bad, man. I like Black Lightning. That's probably the only CW show that I was actually. Yeah, like that's the only show I actually stuck with at the CW. I kind of faded out of CW after a while because I feel like it was real redundant. It was kind of certain people were leaving the show and all that type of stuff because they were kind of getting tired of it and stuff. It is what it is though. But yeah, y'all got anything y'all want to add, man, to the topic? Yeah, any other movies y'all heard about years ago? I know BJ, you were talking about a movie earlier that you had heard about.
That's been a Star Wars movie.
No, he's talking about the Nicolas Cage Superman movie.
Oh yeah,
when that came out. I mean, would you have really want that to come out, bro?
I mean, like I said, I've always been a Nicolas Cage fan, so I've seen a lot of stuff he's thrown. I ain't seen some of his later stuff, but like I said, that's background when Con Air and all that was booming. I mean, everything he was making was pretty good, so he wasn't throwing out garbage movies back then.
Well, if we're gonna go that route, especially with Tim Burton,
Uh-oh.
I would love to see Batman 3 with Tim Burton directing, and they had Marlon Wayans being
and Robin.
Robin. Yeah, I would have watched that. You know, he was like a skinny crackhead back then. So I would have loved to see Marlon Wayans portray that role better than. Now I won't say better because we didn't see it, but compared to Chris O'Donnell being Robin in Batman Forever and moving forward. So yeah, that's my throwing. The real Batman 3 that we never got.
No, wasn't Chris O'Donnell like 32 when he was playing Robin?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He's probably 35.
I
He on
was
Social
gonna say,
Security.
I don't know if y'all remember when J.J. Abrams was supposed to do a Superman movie. That was supposed to come out instead of I think Singer's Superman movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be called. It was Superman. What was it called? Crap, I forgot the name of it. But that was also too around the time Henry Cavill was supposed to be Superman around that time too. Between that movie and Bryan Singer's movie, he was like supposed to be in Superman in one of those movies. I was trying to remember the name of it because whatever the name was, I was like, I'm glad they didn't come out with that movie. Because matter of fact, it was either Henry Cavill. I mean, y'all remember Josh Hartnett, right? From the Faculty. Yeah, he was one of the guys who's supposed to be Superman or whatever. He's one of the actors they were looking at or whatever. And so I was like, yeah, I'm glad they didn't come out with that movie. Bro. Yeah, that's it. Flyby. Yeah. But you know what? That name sound like a placeholder name. Like we gonna call it this for right now, but then when we get close to the movie, we gonna call it just Superman or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's get some of these questions and comments here, y'all. We can call it a night, man. We got Devin in the building, man.
So boy,
from
We
Talk Combat. Yeah,
yes,
We Talk Combat fame in the building. He also says I'm pretty much watching anything with Angelina Jolie in it. Okay. Man, I was watching Bone. Was it what's the movie she played in with Denzel? Is it Bone Collector? Yeah, I watched that the other day. Me and my wife.
Didn't you say you still watch The Eternals? You watch that every night?
He helps me sleep.
Yeah.
Along with the he says I remember when Aronofsky Batman rumors would have been dope. Yeah, I mean, it'd been interesting to see his take, but like I said, some of the ideas he came out with, like I said, making him completely poor. He was some little orphan kid on the street. Alfred was like some kind of mechanic who kind of like took him in, and he started making like his gadgets and suit and everything, and whatever was in the garage and all that type of stuff. That would have been.
You would have made Batman addicted to painkillers or something, man.
Yeah, something crazy, bro. Yeah, I don't know. He also says, "Do you think we'd ever get a dark Superman like Brightburn?" You got Ultraman. Does that count?
No, he meant dark like me. That's he didn't.
No. He's talking about dark like a killer Superman. Like you got Ultraman. That's probably how close you're gonna get, Devin, right there. Getting Ultraman. But is that Ultraman though?
I hope not.
We'll find out in 2 weeks, BA. We'll find out in 2 weeks. So Alon says the Teen Titan movie would have been Cheeks. Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with you, bro. He also says it's hard to do sketchy CGI without it not looking goofy. He said I would have looked terrible in the late 2000s, but Plastic Man done right could be a fan favorite in the new DCU.
Yeah, the new
DCU, like I said, because
like you said earlier, bro, James Gunn, he'll be the one to make it a thing. I don't see it, but he'll be the one. If anybody, it'll be him. Yeah,
like I said, it's gonna really depend on I think the casting director he got, man, is pretty good. So, it just depends on who they cast. Like I said, I can see like a Bill Hader type person playing that role. You know what I'm saying? But if it, like you said, if it's anybody can get it right, I believe it's James Gunn, man. And Devin also says, you must have never seen The Devil's Advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I've seen it, and he was he didn't go outside his comfort zone in that movie.
Yeah, he did. He really didn't, bro. I'm sitting there trying to think.
Al Pacino acted his ass off, but not Keanu.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Al Pacino carried that movie, bro.
All right, so wait, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you know this? There was a movie that they cast Keanu Reeves in, and then they had to take him out because he couldn't do it. But they took him out for a different reason. It was he was originally cast to play Woody Harrelson's part in White Men Can't Jump.
Oh,
And
I
they
didn't know
said,
that.
yeah, they said they started. So once they started practicing, they said he couldn't play basketball well enough. And I was like, oh, they saved that movie because that'd have been terrible. With Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, is I'm like, no.
They were better. Yeah, it came out better.
Yeah,
Just
could
with
you
the
imagine
humor
Keanu
and
Reeves?
how they played off of each other.
Yeah, he has no comedic time, and it would have been so stiff.
That's what I'm saying. Anytime I put him at Plastic Man, like you gotta have comedic timing to be Plastic Man, bro. That would not have worked, man. I'm sorry, bro. I like Keanu, but like you said, he one of the actors you definitely do need to pigeonhole him in this particular role. Like I said, the Matrix was perfect for him because we definitely need you to be that one note. Just you good. That's good right there. But check this out, man. Devin also says he blames M. Night for After Earth. You know what's crazy, man? This is how I knew the movie was gonna be bad. When you didn't know who directed the movie until close to the time the movie came out. They kept that a secret. I remember that. I was like, yo, why are they keeping this a secret? Then I seen the movie. I was like, oh, okay.
He tried to take his name off now.
That makes sense. That was around the time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They hid his name, and then like what BA said, the marketing was misleading as hell. When they made it seem like, oh, you know, Will Smith gonna be the major, the star of this movie. And like you said, he sat in that little ship the whole time, and his son was the star of the movie. It's like, yo, y'all just misled everybody on that one, bro. So, nah, you right about that one, Dev. I blame everybody for that one. I blame WB everybody. That was horrible.
Everybody involved.
Reggie, everybody involved. What up, bro? Law, what up, man? And then he says, he said that's exactly what they did. Yeah, I remember that, bro. They hid that man's name. I wonder, like, I didn't even know he directed it, but when you think about it, it felt like a M. Night type of movie. It kind of felt more like what's that movie? Last Airbender. I don't know if y'all saw that movie.
Oh my god.
We're not going to bring up such things like that.
I'm so sorry, bro. I'm still mad about that movie, bro. I seen the trailer because I think we was in the movie together. We saw that trailer.
Yeah,
bro. I was like, yo, when that trailer, the little teaser trailer came out, and he was like doing like the wind powers, and then like panned out to the sea, you saw all them ships. I was like, yo, this is it right here. Well, when that movie came out, I said, what in God's name am I watching right now? I started hurting my eye tearing up, and not in a good way, bro. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? It
was so terrible.
It was so bad, bro. God, it was bad.
But hold on, y'all being disrespectful because that kid is from Dallas that was in the movie.
Hey, what happened to him?
We're not blaming him.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him. He did good for what they gave him, man. So I mean, that movie, oh my god, M. Night did not know anything about the source material. I was like, bro, all you gotta do is just sit down and watch the 3 seasons, bro. You would have got the whole idea. But Devin said sorry for yelling, but I was ready to watch that movie. I was too, man. Like I said, we saw that teaser trailer. You couldn't tell me nothing, man. So, but then the day of, I saw an email about the movie and his name was at the top of the poster. I immediately changed my mind. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before where they hide a director's name like that until close to when the movie come out. I've never seen that before. I've seen movies where they say like the producer and people think like, oh, that's the guy who directed it. Kind of like that new movie coming out called Him. It's produced by Jordan Peele, and people think that Jordan Peele directed that. Yeah, I've seen that before, but you hiding a director's name, bro, that is crazy to me. And David also says M. Night will make a hell of a trailer. Oh, he trailers are fire. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. But then those are the only good parts of the movie. Yeah, man. You said what's that? You said Glass, Devin? that trailer had me sold. I'm thinking like, yo, this is it right here. This is the movie right here. So that movie was trash.
But Split wasn't. No, we go back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, Split was fire. Split was fire. Split was definitely fire. Black Noir said Al Pacino play Carrie Dick Tracy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he carried it. He did like stand out, but I don't think he. I wouldn't say he carried it. Because I mean, okay, I give you that one. He probably did. I probably say he did. He definitely was a standout in that movie. Because I was gonna say he had some pretty good performances, but I don't think any of them outperformed Al Pacino in that movie. So, but yeah, that's all the questions. Comment. Oh, hold on, Dave got one more. He says no. I have to go back and watch Detroit. Yes, what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to watch it again too. Like I said, he stands out. I don't think.
Warren Beatty did his thing in that too. We're not going to
Yeah,
act
that's
like
what I'm saying.
ain't do his thing. Not like Keanu versus Al Pacino. No, it was not. That's
yeah.
It's not. It's oranges and apples.
And it's freaking Dick Tracy. That's what we talking about. Like, come on, man.
I think everybody did good in that movie, bro. But yeah, he did stand out though. Black Noir, he did stand out. I give you that one, but I don't think he carried it though. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for us, y'all, man. We did appreciate everybody, man, geeking out with your boys yet again for another episode. We'll be back here on Saturday, y'all. You already know how we do every Saturday morning, Tuesday evening, guys. We have these shows for you guys. So do us a huge favor, please hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also, to everybody, hit them likes for us tonight. If you can do that for us, please help us build that algorithm up, man. We're still trying to grow the channel, still trying to get to our first 500. That'd be nice, man, if y'all can help us with that. Also, too, follow us on our other channel, Cuz We Geek Clips, where we clip all the short versions of the show on there, y'all. We definitely use your help growing that channel, too. But yeah, man, listen. Anybody got anything else, man, before we roll?
I got one thing for sure. Everybody that's still here, when you watch the playback, please check out Ironheart. Watch it. Don't listen to everybody. Don't listen to everybody.
Yeah, I gotta
watch Ironheart for yourself, please.
Yes, thank you, B.A. Yes, man. I'm gonna go try to finish episode 3 because like you. So real quick, I know we gotta end the show, but bro, you ever watch like you hear like all this like negative stuff, right? And you watching it and you're looking for that negative stuff that everybody's talking about. Yeah. Did y'all ever do something like that? That's what I was doing. I'm trying to see what the negative everybody was talking about. Yeah. I'm watching the show. Me and my wife were enjoying the show. I'm like, what was bad about the show? Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I said, so far it's like a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critics. So that's pretty good. It's just like it got review bombed or whatever. Now down to a 39, bro. But it's a good show to me. You know, we'll definitely talk about it after the show is over with. So probably next Saturday, because the last 3 episodes are next Wednesday. No, sorry. Next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday. So we'll probably I don't know if we are gonna be able to finish the episodes before the show, but so if not, we'll just talk about it next Saturday. I will do like a spoiler discussion that next Saturday. So we'll talk about it for sure. But yeah, man. With all that being said, like I said, guys, we are out, man. Cuz we geeked. Follow us, subscribe, all the good things, y'all. Stay geeked.